Good morning, good morning. Welcome in. Baseball and coffee. Here we are. Here we go. It is Wednesday, July 23rd, 10 a.m. here in the East. Just got out of the cold plunge because I needed to wake up today. This coffee wasn't going to be enough. But here we go. We had a really crazy night of baseball last night. I want to see if there's a way in the chat I can put up a poll, or if I can ask the people in the chat today if they would like to vote or tell me which pitcher I should look at later in the show. There were some crazy dominant performances last night from starters, and we can't cover them all. So it was Christopher Sanchez, DeGrom, Matthew Boyd, Logan Gilbert. Those are all the possible answers from last night. There's probably even more dominant pitching performances than that, and I haven't really looked at all of them yet. Trying to play a little catch up here. But what we're going to do is we're going to see what's brewing in baseball this morning, and we're going to head right over to our main screen today, which has our standings as we get started today. Blue Jays finally lose to the Yankees at home, and now they have a 3-game lead on the Yanks. Red Sox lose again to the Phillies behind that complete game by Christopher Sanchez, so they're 6 back now. And the Rays win, they're 6.5 back. Detroit's leads down to 9 as they continue to scuffle a little bit. 2-8 in their last 10. Cleveland back to 500, 9 back. Houston 5 up over Seattle. Seattle finally broke that win streak of the Brewers last night with a 1-0 game, pretty tight. Maybe we'll check in on that. Phillies, Mets both win last night. That remains tight, half game. Cubs pulled back even with the Brew Crew, as the Cubs had a nice win, big offensive day, and the Brewers ended up losing a close one. That's how you're going to have to beat the Brewers in tight, low-scoring games at this point. Dodgers leads down to 3.5. Padres didn't capitalize last night, but that's getting tight. As we get into it, there was a lot of crazy pitching performances last night. As I head over to where the chat is. Sanchez, got to dive into what makes him so sneaky dominant. Okay, Sanchez will be the first pitcher that we'll look at today, but I want to start off by heading over to this matchup last night, Cody Bellinger versus Max Scherzer. I know both of these guys well, teammates to both of them. Belly obviously a lot less than I was to Max, but this is two vets going at it, former MVP, former Cy Young Award winner, both in the second halves of their career. Obviously, Max is at the very tail end of his career. Good morning, Joe. Joe Garomo, good morning. So we're going to get into these at-bats. There's 3 at-bats. Bellinger versus Scherzer last night in this game.
Here's Cody Bellinger.
First at-bat's just a simple ambush. Max tries to get ahead of him with the fastball away, and Belly lines it into right center for a double. Just does a good job of being on time, and this is a little bit of a theme as we continue with these 3 at-bats versus the 2 superstar players. So in this situation, Max is going to trust his fastball. It's been obviously a great pitch for him in his career, and he's just trying to go away. Bellinger, similar to what we saw with Nick Kurtz yesterday. Just want to point out with this initial swing, this pitch ends up getting made contact with right about here on the outside corner, but you can see Bellinger's feet are completely spread and he is completely open, yet he still has coverage over the outside corner. When Cody's going really good, he has amazing plate coverage despite kind of leaking that hip out early. And that's what we saw here in this whole game, but here he's on time for a 94-mile-an-hour fastball, and he wins the first battle by being ready to hit right away. So now, by the time they get to the second at-bat, Max has got to be aware of Bellinger's aggression. So let's see how Max goes at him the second time through.
6 in a row set down by Scherzer.
All right, so a little first pitch cutter in. This is very well executed. As you can see, they set up in with the target. This ball tracks to the upper in quadrant, but it's still medium height. Even though Belly is bailed, and he makes good contact with this ball. I don't know if there's hit that on the foul ball. There isn't, but the best he can do is hit a foul ball. So right now, Max is thinking, I've got him sped up. He's in swing mode, and he just pulled this ball foul. Now, to my thought process here, and using Max's stuff, I think I would either have, off of this foul ball, I think I would have either liked to see Max go hard in with a fastball here, continue to reinforce that I'm coming in hard on you and you got to continue to speed up, or you go immediately to like a changeup down. What Max instead tries to do, I believe, is go off speed, which is also a decent option because when you feel like you have a guy sped up and you throw something slow on the back door to this portion of the plate, their hips should be too far gone. But let's see what happens here. Curveball. Not even a strike, actually a pretty good pitch. But again, the plate coverage from Bellinger in this game was actually really, really special. And, you know, Max wasn't going to get beat twice the same way, but now he's been beaten by his fastest pitch and by his slowest pitch, that curveball. And once again, Bellinger bails here. Like, his body is completely gone. His energy is completely over here, but yet he's able to reach a pitch off the plate away and still stay through it. This is just really athletic hitting. This isn't necessarily what you would teach, but this is a very nice piece of hitting, and I think the big key is kind of the way he rides it out after he lands. Let's see. So it's a nice soft landing with the front foot, and then he gives a little bit to allow himself to still get to this ball even though it's far away from him. So it's a good piece of hitting, and Bellinger's a little locked in, it looks like, on that away corner, down and away quadrant. He's covering that really well. So 2 at-bats, 2 doubles. And now we're going to get this third at-bat for Scherzer, and let's see what Max tries to do here.
But then the home run that he just simply missed his location.
First pitch fastball in. I think that's a good choice off of the fact that this is a really nice pitch. Obviously, he's gotten 2 hits in this location and this location so far. He got him to hit a foul ball in here. He decides I'm going to stand him up with the fastball. So I'm going to go to the furthest point away that I can go from where the 2 hits occurred, and I'm going to start this at-bat up in it. Even though it's a ball, it's a pretty good purpose pitch.
What do you do with those numbers?
Decides to double up in there and gets the swing through. This is a perfect pitch by Max and a really nice adjustment. This is basically a portion of the zone that he's saying, if you can cover over here, you can't cover up and in here, so I'm going to live there for a second.
I think yesterday was
But now the question is, after you go on 2 in a row, do you triple up? Let's see what he decides to do. Decides not to. He's going to go for the cutter. Also a very good pitch. So this was a good idea. These 2 pitches come out of the same tunnel. The 2 fastballs so far in this at-bat, one's been in here, one's been in here. This cutter comes out even more on the plate, but then it's going to run in towards the hands. This is a good pitch, but also a risky pitch. Like if Max misses kind of in this region, this ball's probably in the cheap seats. But the fact that he was able to keep it at that medium height and inside serves him really well here. He's able to get belly. To pull this ball foul, actually to completely miss it. Because this ball did stay up very well. 8.3 vert on it. So this ball flattened out nicely. It's a good job by Max of starting off this at-bat, recognizing the adjustments he needs to make, and he gets himself in the driver's seat. Here comes the 1-2 attempt. Let's see what Max goes with. Goes with the high heater. I think that's a good pitch choice here, in my opinion. He's already been burned so far going down and away. He's shown him a lot of stuff in. He feels like he has him in swing mode. I think if Max could put this ball exactly where he'd want to, he'd go for the up and away swing through here. With the leaky swing of Bellinger, he's probably going to scoop under that. Unfortunately, he misses in a non-competitive location. And Belly's able to see another pitch, and we get to 2-2. And this is where we get into a tricky decision-making point here. So in this at-bat, he's gone fastball in, cutter in, fastball up and away. Previous 2 at-bats, he got beat down and away. What to throw here? I think I would have stuck with the fastball up and in. I think I would have been determined to get him to turn around my heater and show me that he could put something in play on the inside part. And I think Max's intent, he ends up going cutter here, but Max has 2 cutters. He has more of the flat cutter that he wants to throw in here, and then he has more of the depth cutter. So both pitches are going to pop like in this region, and he wants one to get under. This is where a lot of the chase will happen in the swing and miss, and in here you probably get a lot more foul ball, but sometimes you do tie a guy up. And I think Max was going for this death cutter down below. But let's see the result. So he does get it below. The only issue is he doesn't get it in enough. He doesn't get it down enough. And Bellinger, with the same type of swing he had in the previous 2 hits, and Max is a little dumbfounded by all this because very rarely does a guy get him 3 times in a game. I think what Max was trying to do here was to get this ball even further down. Hold on, let me get my pencil out here. I think he's trying to get this ball like really down here and take advantage of the aggression, but he ends up getting it only a bit below the zone. And Cody he's got a real 2-strike. He's got a real 2-strike approach and great extension and great plate coverage, and he's able to kind of just lean down and scoop this ball to right center. Hits at 102, but at the optimal launch angle of 25, 26 degrees is perfectly how you want to hit it. And he clips him for the 3rd time, 3rd extra base hit. Let's watch Cody again from the side here because this is just a really good 2-strike approach. And when you have a great 2-strike approach like this, oh boy. We're going to have to do something real quick. Sorry, fellas. When you have a great 2-strike approach like this, it allows you to kind of just fight and battle a little bit and put balls in play that you wouldn't ordinarily do. And then sometimes the pitcher's going to make a mistake. And usually it's a medium speed pitch in the bottom half of the zone, which is what I've been talking about a lot the last few days. This is the danger with 2 strikes, is the medium speed pitch in the bottom half of the zone. And what exactly is this pitch? This is the medium speed pitch, 87.2, and it is technically in a very hittable spot, even though it's a ball. So anyway, let's watch Bellinger again from the side. Let's see how he rides this swing out. It's kind of the same thing. It's a very quiet, not a lot of movement in his load, and then he's able to kind of bend down a little bit and use those long arms he has. And it's a little short finish, Chase Utley style. So you don't really have to do a lot to hit the ball 100 miles an hour. It's just about kind of meeting the ball with the barrel. Bellinger does a nice job of that here, and he gets all 3 hits off the Hall of Famer. And full ownage for the day, and he was really one of the big differences in the game. Obviously, Jazz had the 3-run homer early in the game, which we could quickly peek at against Scherzer, because this is pretty much all the damage that happened against Max in this game was the 3 hits by Bellinger and the hit by Jazz. But in that first inning, if you go back and look at how the first inning unfolded, it was a single and then a double that set up this inning. He did strike out Judge, and then Jazz ends up clipping him for the homer. So we'll watch the Jazz at-bat real quick, because I thought it was interesting as well. Scherzer 4-seam up. Mind you, he's got 2nd and 3rd, 1 out here in the first inning. So he's looking for a strikeout or a pop-up. So he's had a lot of success in his career getting weak pop-ups when he throws his 4-seam at the top of the zone. He's another guy with really low arm slot that upshoots the fastball. So here's the 2-0. He's sticking with the heater again. Gets the swing through. So he's got Jazz as being a little bit under and late on him right now. So he's going to stick with it. 4th fastball in a row. This one's in. Not quite high as well. Jazz does get wood to it, but again, he's under it and jammed here. So through 4 fastballs, Max got to still probably read he's not on timing. But now he thinks he's got him in swing mode, so he tries to go change up here. Pitch has excellent movement, but it never really tunnels with anything he's done before in this at-bat. All his fastballs have been high or starting on the corner, or the other one was boring in, so he has nothing that pops in this part of the zone, so that makes this a pretty easy take for Jazz. And that sets up this 3-2 where he tries to go back to the heater, and no doubt he wanted this pitch in a higher location. You can see the target, but he ends up missing kind of middle down. And this is the mistake area that we've all gone to as pitchers. You see a lot of 2-strike homers, and most of them are in this area, this middle down. Usually it's medium speed, but Jazz had no reason to be on anything but fastball timing. And in this case, this was kind of the perfect storm for Jazz of he's on fastball timing, but it's also in a location he can handle, which is down. And you can kind of just drop the bat head on it, and there's 3 runs. So that's how Max got beat. He just kind of got beat in the bottom of the zone and actually down and away by 2 good left-handed hitters. I think if he could have executed his fastball a little bit better at the tops of the zones, he might have run through those guys. And that's why it's such a fun game to watch, because obviously Max knows what he's doing out there, and these hitters know what Max is capable of, and they were able to get the best of him by buying themselves a few extra pitches and being ready when the mistake came. All right, in the chat. What are some cues pitchers use to change shape to a cutter between flat and depth? Okay, yeah, that's a good one. So I need to start having a baseball here so I can demonstrate some stuff with the grips, but the way that I would do it, if I wanted the ball, let me go to another pitch here so we can just get a better view. If I wanted a ball to kind of stay flat through this area, I would think of it more as like a fastball. So I'd be a little bit offset with my hand, but I would still try to be neutral in terms of where my hand was on the baseball. Like, I don't need it to be over the ball. I don't need it to be under the ball. I want it to be neutral with the ball. So when I backspin it, it stays on that same flat path, and it's basically a four seam, but just cocked to the left a little bit, or to a lefty would be cocked to the right a little bit, so it rides in the direction you want while maintaining its backspin. And when you want the ball to go down, and he calls this his depth cutter, and I used to call it the slammer. A lot of people call it a death ball. They're all kind of the same thing depending on the speed. What I would do instead there was I would take the same grip, but I would get my fingers a little closer together so I could get a little bit of a tighter spin, and then I would try to cock my wrist over the ball. That way when I release it and I'm over the ball, the nose of the ball is pointed slightly down. So even though I'm throwing it to start it in the same location, like right around here, but I want to drive it down, the nose of the ball is pointed slightly down, and that allows that gyro spin to suck the ball down even more. And just like that wrist cue of being above the ball is really the key to like make sure that you drive it down, because as soon as you get under the ball, that's when you pop it up. So you're cheating the entire situation by getting your hand over the ball. This is obviously a lot easier if your arm slot is high, and it's a lot harder for a guy like me who my arm slot was lower. So I would have to cheat my arm slot up a few inches, and you're kind of hoping that the hitter doesn't see that or feel something is off and be able to read the break of your pitch better. Who knows if that's a true thing or not a true thing? I think that's up for debate a little bit, but that's kind of what a guy would try to do. Is it's the same grip, maybe with a little bit of a tighter finger placement, and you're thinking wrist over the ball, and just kind of a locked up wrist situation over the ball is going to give you more of that downward angle. And when you're trying to keep it up, you want to almost get under the ball a little bit, or at least stay neutral, so that you get more of a flat action or a rise action. So that's how you would do that. It's the same pitch, and it's really two pitches, but it's the same pitch nomenclature. And a lot of the reason why people like to use the word cutter even when they're throwing more of a slider shape is because cutter reinforces the cue to throw the ball hard. Sometimes when you get into a slider, you think about making the ball move, and with a cutter, you want to throw the ball hard and let the grip take care of the rest. So that's the little bit of nuance there. All right, so that was it. The Yankees did hang on and win this game in very nice fashion. And I'm going to go look at the notes here for a second, because there's so many different things we can look at today. I definitely want to take a quick look at the 45-year-old legend, Rich Hill. Mitch in the chat says we should go over Christopher Sanchez, the underrated lefty who threw a complete game for the Phillies. So we're going to do that. We're going to probably skip DeGrom today, skip Matt Boyd, skip Logan Gilbert. Those guys were all awesome, but they'll come back around on this program at some point. I want to quickly check in on Bryce Matthews, the rookie for the Astros, who made a nice play to end the game last night, as well as a game-winning homer. So those are all on the docket. I think we'll jump right into Christopher Sanchez now. All right, so before we do anything with Christopher Sanchez, let's pull him up on the old Baseball Savant machine. As you can see, he is absurdly good this year, and really last year was his breakout year where he threw 181 and 2/3 for the Phillies with the 3.32, 31 games. Kind of took the rotation from good to insane, and a lot of it has been his velocity jump. This year his velo has really climbed. He's averaging 95.3 on the sinker this year. If we could go back in time, he was 94.5 last year on the sinker in his breakout year, but the year before that, 92.1. So that's kind of when I noticed him was 2022, 2023. He was more 92, 93 with the fastball. And changeup is his best pitch. But now he's throwing a lot harder, so you have to respect the fastball a lot better. And I also think having him work with JT Realmuto has been a big deal for him, because there's a lot of reading of at bats when you play this kind of style that Sanchez has. Which, if we go to his pitch plot real quick, it's just a sinker, a changeup, and a slider. So the sinker and the slider have basically the same movement, as you see these orange and green dots way out to the left here. Just one's harder than the other, and the changeup has more drop, but they both have a similar too depthy type of arm slide movement to them. They move left and down. And then the slider, it's a bullet slider. He throws it in the middle. It's the same speed as the changeup, but with opposite movement. So that just keeps you honest a little bit to the glove side when you're facing Sanchez. But there's no four-seam attempts. There's no curveball attempts. There's no really slow pitches. So it's really a command game, which we'll see when we watch this CG that he throws against the Sox last night, and a slider game. But I should also point out that they actually absolutely stole this guy in terms of a contract extension. And that's really nice for the Phillies. They have a lot of high-paid players, and they're a very expensive team. But when you can have basically an ace-level pitcher, I mean, he's got 5.2 WAR this year. We have basically an ace-level pitcher. Let's see if I can find his salaries here. It's somewhere in here. Yep, salaries. And you got all these team options. If you look down here, 2025, he's making $2 million this year. Then next year, the extension kicks in 3.5, 6.5, 9.5. 14 and 15 as team options. So if he's awesome for the next 3 years, they can easily re-up him for a discount. Because on the free agent market at age 32, if you're an ace, you're not making $14 million a year. You're making $30 million a year at least. And the reality is he might be an ace or a number 2 or number 3 starter, making 3.5, 6.5, and 9.5 the next few years. So this was a great deal for Dombrowski and the Phillies. Got to give them credit. They acquired him from the Rays in a trade for Curse Mead back in 2019. This is how you put your team over the edges, by making good decisions on people like that. Spotrac is a good site also for contract breakdowns that interest you. Yeah, I look at Spotrac a little bit, and I need to do a better job of that. So thanks for that advice. That's a good idea. All right, so let's get into it. Without further ado, Christopher Sanchez. Let's see what makes him so nasty. Red Sox and Phillies last night. He throws the whole damn game. So we're just going to go ahead and watch the result pitches. Sinker is a huge pitch for him. He's a big-time ground ball pitcher in addition to his strikeouts. But that lefty sinker approach, even more effective than the righty sinker. Framber Valdez, Christopher Sanchez, think Zach Britton. A lot of guys with really good sinkers. It chews people up. You don't see a lot of plus lefty sinkers out there. Most lefties seem to be four-seam guys or cutter guys. Here he chews up Roman Anthony with a sinker in. And again, it's 96-3. That pitch is vicious. So here's Bregg. So all 3 outs in the first are going to be sinkers. This is a little bit what I'm talking about too with JT. Real Muto back there. As you can see, this is a front door sinker attempt. I pretty much assume that they've worked him away prior to this. So this is an attempt at a freeze. But you can see that the target is off the plate in. So as a pitcher, Sanchez is going to drive the ball right at that target, and it's going to end up on the inside corner. And he's hoping for a take. Bregman ends up swinging. But this is why I love these front door sinkers so much, because even though this ball's running back to the plate, Bregman has to hesitate a little bit as this ball pops as a ball. And by the time he swings, he's still jammed at 96.3 on the fastball. It results in a 70-mile-an-hour exit velo and a pretty easy out. And that's a beautiful, clean first inning with only 11 pitches. So second inning, Romy Gonzalez. Here we go. See how he finishes him. So here's the changeup. For me, this is by far his best pitch. Most of the time, you're going to see his vertical break in the negatives on this changeup. Right here, it's 3.8, but it also can get up to 20 inches of run. So this ball's just falling away from a righty at a crazy rate. And hold on, here we go in the chat. Is the lack of left-handed sinker decision based on staying out of the bat path facing so many righties? I just think a lot of lefties learn to pitch into righties, and that lends itself to the four seam, and then they use a changeup as a sinker. And I just don't think that there's a lot of thought of staying out of the scoop, so a lot of guys are probably pushed into more of a four-seam approach, being a left-handed pitcher. You just don't see a lot of guys with dominant sinkers, but Sanchez certainly has one. And here's what the changeup does. I mean, it just doesn't get there. Romy Gonzalez misses this ball by a foot, and you're gonna see that's a theme as well. Changeup's really, when the chips are down, changeup is his pitch. So let's see how he gets Story here swinging. Also changeup. Really, really good location. And you can see how JT, even in this spot, Real Muto is doing a good job with his targeting here. He's on the plate, so he wants him to come right here and fade it into this area, and that's exactly what Sanchez does. It's beautiful execution. And again, Story's a day and a half early on this. You can see from the side view just how early. mean, just gone. So really, really easy second inning there as he gets Yoshida as well. This is going to be a sinker. Left on left sinker in. Also a pitch that lefties aren't accustomed to seeing. I remember there's a guy, Fleming, who pitched for the Rays a few years ago, and he's just pound like guys like Verdugo in with sinkers. And it's just like lefties just don't see power sinkers in on them a lot. Even though this ball's not all the way in, just the action of the pitch makes it very hard for them not to beat the ball in the ground. So it's ground balls and it's punchies. Now we got Rafaela. Little 3-1. Sinker middle down. Easy grounder to Trey. That's the other great thing about a sinker. A lot of times you can be, you're back against the wall. You could be in a 3-1, 2-0 count. You can just throw that sinker at the bottom. And you're probably not going to give it, it's probably not going to get up in the air considering the action. Another K here on the changeup. Another beautiful pitch that tunnels towards the bottom of the zone and drops off. And now the third inning.
You were going to say that.
Another front door sinker attempt in a beautiful location, but jams him again at 97-2. So it's not just that it's front door. Like a lot of guys, Martin Perez, Jose Quintana, a lot of guys do a great job throwing this front door sinker, but his is 97. 97-2 from a lefty with excellent location. That's special. All right, so that's the end of the third, and this is the only run he allows in this game. It's actually a home run by Ref Snyder. 2-1. Yeah, just kind of misses with that sinker over the middle and a hitter's count. See how he got there real quick. See if there's any predictability. So, sinker middle.
Here they are. I'm in heaven now.
Crucky's getting some food in the booth. Backdoor slider attempt. And then another sinker in. So it's a little bit of a double up. He just goes sinker in, but he kind of pulls it down in. It's actually amazing how close as a pitcher your hand is in terms of release point to produce this location or this location. You're talking about like a millisecond of whether you kind of pulled your glove side early or not. So anyway, he pulls it a little early there, and then he goes back to make the correction on the next pitch, but Ref is on time. So credit to Ref Snyder there. He's really good against lefties. Smashes that ball and gets the Red Sox on the board. But from that point forward, nothing happens. So let's watch how he does it. Chewed Roman up with the sinker the first time. Chews him up again with the sinker the second time. And I can promise you that Roman Anthony has not seen many left-on-left sinkers of that quality in his lifetime. So Bregman, this is another thing. This is a credit to Alex Bregman here. Bregman got jammed on the sinker in the first at bat. He comes in and with much better timing to be on time for the fastball. His second at bat, he's got those short little T-Rex arms. Does a good job pulling him in here. This pitch is low, which kind of is what allows him to get to it. But that's just a great swing by a great hitter and a great adjustment. And Bregman gets himself a knock. All right, Romy Gonzalez. Punched him with the changeup the first time. Punched him with the changeup the second time. And he's got no answer for that pitch with his swing. He's not going to be able to lay off that or cover that. That's a -2 vert on a changeup. That's gross. And, you know, you just can't swing at that. But how can you not swing at it when he's likely throwing you some pitches, you know, in the bottom half of the zone? So you have to honor it. And then by the time you swing, you realize it's a changeup and you're gone. So that's beautiful pitching again. And now we're on to Story. Ooh. First out, he gets to the game with a slider. Little backdoor slider rollover. Should be a double play. Actually, kind of a crazy pick by Bryson Stott there after Turner booted it. But so they get the lead out. But a first pitch slider. And now you can see guys are trying to be a little more aggressive against him. They can tell that the pitcher's feeling it a little bit. And they need to be a little more aggressive. All right, we go to the fifth. Yoshida beat the first time in the ground. Let's see what he does this time. Ooh, left on left slider. Yeah, get some reaching, little rollover. So he uses the slider just enough. Just enough. It's mostly sinker changeup, but he can use the slider too. And I think Real Muto does a great job of kind of helping him through those decisions.
I think everybody's excited to see him. 26th selection overall by the Philadelphia Phillies.
Changeup. Rafaela loves to get going, loves to get on time for the fastball. Pops it up there. Narvaez. Another sinker, probably another rollover.
Bouncing ball out to second.
This is the beauty of a plus sinker. I mean, sometimes these balls are going to get through the hole, but most of the time, you have an opportunity to get some quick outs and get deep in the ball game. So here's his most dominant inning of the game. This is the 6th inning. He's going to get a changeup strikeout here. Well, we didn't get a good view of that, so let's watch it from center field cam. I mean, that's middle, but he still has Toro way out front, just showing you the quality of that pitch. Ref Snyder, this is who clipped him last time for the homer. Comes back with a 3-pitch punchy here. You know, let's watch this whole at-bat because he did get clipped the last time. So, first pitch slider. Interesting that he chases that. He must have been committed to... Maybe he was hunting that pitch, but sometimes you hunt it, you swing at it, and it's a ball. And then he just goes straight to his best pitch twice. Change up for a strike, and then change up for chase. So you see they learned, got beat with the fastball timing. Next at bat, slider, changeup, and then he's going to get Roman Anthony for the 3rd time. This time on a left-on-left changeup, which I promise you hasn't seen a lot of. And Roman's nowhere near these balls. That's 3 punchies. You can see he misses this ball by a foot. So he's absolutely carving up the rookie. And now we go to the 7th. Bregman. Now remember, there's been a little bit of an inside battle here. Jammed him one time. And then Bregman beat him to the spot the last time. So he gets him way out front on a changeup here. So if Bregman stays with his approach of getting ready for the inside pitch, let's see if that is a factor in this at-bat. Yeah, so perfectly painted backdoor slider. That kind of protects you in case he's cheating in. And then he's going to go right to the changeup again. So both, yep, and Bregman's way early. So yeah, so both guys who have proved to him that they can get on time with the fastball in, the next at-bat versus them, he's gone backdoor breaking balls and changeups, and he gets them way out in the front foot. You just can't cover both timing-wise. You have to cheat to get to that inside fastball, or you have to stay back to get to that changeup. So just a good job reading the at-bats, and he's a tough guy to get more than once. So that's a Bregman ground out. Romy Gonzalez punched his first 2 times. He beats the sinker in the ground. Another easy out. Looks like Story might get an infield hit here.
A high bouncer towards short.
Chopper, tough play. Trays throws a little high, pulls Harp off the bag. But Story's so fast, so you got to give credit there. And then Yoshida, he's beat him into the ground twice. Let's see if he does it a 3rd time. Looks like it. Yeah. That bat path versus that pitch is going to produce a ground ball like 80-90% of the time. So it's a tough matchup for Yoshida. All right, into the 8th. We're deep into this game. Oh, huge to get a first pitch out here. Oh, my Bryson. Well, doesn't get the first pitch out because Rafael is fast, but great attempt. So leadoff hitter on in the 8th. Looking for the grounder. It's ahead of Narvaez. Gets the rollover. Gets the lead runner. And that's it, but another ground ball, so a good job. Once again, you can see how the changeup gets those grounders. Negative 1.7 vert on that changeup. Nasty. So nasty. I wish I had that pitch. Now he's got Toro looking for another grounder here. He's looking for that double play ball. Gets some reach in. They decide to take the out. Nice play by Harper. Nice play by Sanchez. 2 outs. I'm not sure Harp knew how many outs there were. Rev Snyder, can he get him for the 2nd time? Yep, devastating changeup. Electric. He might think he's done there after that 8th inning. He ends up pitching this 9th, but let's watch the electricity here. Let's go. Sanchez is feeling it. He gets the opportunity for the 9th. Probably got to be efficient. I'm sure there's somebody warming up as he starts the 9th with 100 pitches. And Roman Anthony gets the golden sombrero. 4 punchies, this time looking. And this was undoubtedly the toughest night of his career in the big leagues, facing a guy he's just not equipped to face yet. All right, Breggy, 4th time through. All right, this time he waits on the changeup, so good swing by Bregman. Unfortunate for him that it's right to Sosa, but good adjustment by Bregman as he had him sped up the first 2 at-bats with fastball, slowed him down the 3rd at-bat. Now Bregman does a good job staying back and staying through this changeup. You know, that's baseball. Sometimes you hit it at somebody. So that was a good battle all night, Sanchez versus Bregman. And that sends us to our final batter of the game, Romy Gonzalez, another guy he's owned all game, and he gets him for a 3rd strikeout, all on changeups, as he completes the complete game. The only blemish being the home run. I mean, this changeup's not even located, but you see how nasty it is. Romy has no shot on it. And Christopher Sanchez does the thing. You gotta love it. What a feeling. Start the game, you finish the game, nobody else pitches, everybody else gets rest. It's a dominant performance. You know, he's not really the Phillies ace. They have Zach Wheeler, they still have Nola, they got Ranger Suarez. Luzardo's had times this year where he's been dominant, and they have this guy. So this is one of the reasons why I love the Phillies to win the division. It's going to be a great battle between them and the Metros all year. But the Phillies have 5 starters that you got to really, really, really respect. And this guy, who they signed for what feels like no money, has now jumped to the forefront of their rotation, and they've done just an incredible job. You got to give them a lot of credit. You really, really do. The Phillies rotation is something else. So there's Christopher Sanchez. I mean, 5.2 WAR. Even at this point in the season, he's probably produced, you know, $25-30 million of value already, and they're paying him like $2 million this year. A lot of times, this is how you win when you get extreme production out of a low-cost player. That allows you to spend your money in other areas and really strengthen your overall team. One of the things that my 2018 Rockies team had was 5 pitchers who were all not making a lot of money in the rotation, so then they could spend money on the bullpen and the offense, and we had a pretty well-rounded team. And I think for a smaller market, you kind of have to have that. Obviously, for a bigger market, you can afford to pay more guys, and the Phillies are certainly big, but it's really, really huge when you have a guy like this making no money. So they'll continue to ride him. Phillies are in good spot as we keep going here on the show tonight. Yeah, that's this entire extension, $22 million over 4 years, and there's team options in there. So if he falls off a cliff, they don't even have to pay. I don't understand why some of these players sign these team option deals. Just wait it out. Just bet on yourself a little bit longer, not much longer, but a little bit longer. All right, so I want to look quickly at the legend of Rich Hill. We don't have to look too much at Richie's outing because it wasn't his best outing last night. I don't even think he had a punchy, but I just want to take a moment to give credit where credit is due. This dude debuted in 2005 at the age of 25 at Wrigley Field for the Cubbies, and then last night he pitched at age 45 for the Royals against the Cubs at Wrigley Field. So 20 years later, pitching in the same ballpark, it's truly amazing. I played with Rich somewhere in like 2011 range in AAA Memphis. He was trying to be a relief pitcher at that time. But then he was able to break back out by going to, I believe, independent ball and then to the A's. And then he dominated and eventually, Oakland, 225 this year, 225 and 14 starts. And then after that, he was able to sign with the Dodgers, and he had a nice run with the Dodgers from 2017 through 2019, where he was really, really good, starting 63 games with a 3.3. And at that point, he was already age 37 through 39, so he was already considered like an OG. But the fact that he's still going is incredible. It's a testament to his passion for this game. And one of the things you're going to notice when you watch Rich pitch is just how competitive he is, how locked in he is. He just wants to be present and just go for it with that full passion every single time he pitches. That's something that I've always really respected. So let's just take a quick peek at him, as he also set a record last night, I believe, by pitching for the most teams in baseball, breaking Edwin Jackson's record. It's either 14 or 15 teams. But yeah, Richie Hill, 45 years old, on the bump last night.
Second in the league in
let's just watch him.
Rich Hill delivers.
You know, it's usually a pretty high vert number on that fastball. But right now it's coming in around 88, 89. you know, it's going to be a challenge for him certainly at this point, considering where his stuff's at. Oh, here's his first punchy. Let's see how he gets Kyle Tucker. Oh, he freezes him with the 87. Oh, nice catch by the catcher. Paint. So 45-year-old strikeouts are in, man. That's super cool. Credit to him, man. He went to Omaha. He grinded it out this year, got himself back, and hopefully he can stick for a bit with the Royals. He also has a massive curveball. Here's a slider. See if we can find the classic Rich Hill curveball. Him and Rick Ankiel are two guys that I've faced in my career, or played catch with in my career, where the curveball was just so freaking big. Come on, don't show me a curveball, Richie. Here's a curveball. He can throw. He also likes to throw it sidearm at times, but you can see that's been his pitch his whole career. It's got excellent spin on it. He'll grunt on 89, like Mitch said. Yeah, so I don't know. It's just really cool to see a 45-year-old guy out there. High heater. So it's a high heater curveball approach. Obviously, this is one of the top offenses, if not the top offense in the big leagues this year, is the Cubs. So this was a tough task for him. But he hung in there, pitched into the fifth, ended up getting kind of screwed over with a double that I thought on this play maybe Caglione could have played it a little better off the wall and stopped the run from scoring. What do you guys think on this? Kind of overruns it, and then has to come back and get it. Ends up throwing the runner out of third with an absurd throw. Getting PTA out before he stretches into a triple. But I definitely thought Caglione could have played this ball off the wall a little better. But anyway, Richie gets through 5 in his return to the big leagues. Check out this throw by Caglione, though. All the way over to third to get the out. The run did score. It's actually an important thing to show is the hustle of this runner right here. Because if he doesn't run hard the whole way, when this tag is applied, this run could not score maybe. So like at this point, he's not across home plate yet. There's the tag, and he just barely made it. So there's where the foot is, and they're getting ready to tag him. So that hustle here by this runner was a big deal. That gave the Cubs an extra run. They ended up going on to blow him out, I believe, in this game, but it's good hustle by that runner. So I wanted to point that out. But yeah, that's the legend of Rich Hill. He's back. He's 45. Hopefully we can keep watching him go. But in his career, in the big leagues, he's pitched for the Cubs, the Orioles, the Red Sox, the Indians, the Angels, the Yankees, the Red Sox again, Oakland, the Dodgers, the Twins, the Rays, the Mets, the Red Sox again, the Pirates, the Padres, the Red Sox again, which is awesome for him since he's from Massachusetts, and then the Royals. So let's count it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 teams, I believe, to tie the great Edwin Jackson for teams. Just crazy. And I wonder how long he can keep going. You got to respect the passion. It's certainly impressive because this game can wear you down. It's just takes a lot, and especially at that age, takes a lot to get going every single day. So you got to give credit right there. But there was something from this game that I actually wanted to watch. There's a little bit of a double steal in this game, which is pretty cool. I had written down. So let's go take a peek at the double steal. Let me just see where I have it. It's 7th inning, Dansby's hitting. Okay. This is a really good job by the runners, I believe. All right, so it's in this at bat. There's the double steal that scores the run here. And here it is. They throw to second. India fires back. Runner comes in from third. Kyle Tucker, I believe. Yep. And I want to look at the high home here. So they decide to throw through here, and it's just a really good read by Tucker, but also just the way that India doesn't necessarily have the ability to attack this ball because, okay, so the throw here by the catcher, who I believe is Fermin, as you can see, it comes out, and it starts to sort of tail a little bit in this direction. So that makes India have to, he almost overruns it by going to the bag. He has to change direction. And that little bit of reach where it doesn't set him up, like right now he's reaching, that doesn't set him up to get in a good spot to throw home. So he has to kind of make a quick flip to home That's more than enough time for Tucker to get in and score. But also, this is good anticipation by Tuck. We talked about this the other day with Soto on third on a play. Tucker's here. He's reading this throw. And as soon as the throw's made, he commits to going. And I like this play in this spot. You already have the lead in the game. And sometimes when you already have the lead in the game, you can be a little bit more aggressive here. But this took a commitment. And they kind of catch the Royals sleeping here with a little bit of sloppiness. And it gets them a free run. I mean, there was 2 strikes and 2 outs in this inning. Dansby ends up getting out. So this run would not have scored otherwise. And I actually think this was a pretty good play by the Cubbies. Tuck actually had a pretty short secondary lead. Surprised he made it. I think a lot of it was just the anticipation. Like, he doesn't hesitate. If you watch Tuck here on the left. And go. I think a lot of it was just kind of the lackadaisical effort by the Royals here. India overruns this ball. He doesn't cut down the distance at all. And he's not able to set his feet and make a strong enough throw here. And I think they didn't do a very good job of anticipating that runner could have came home. So just wanted to look at that really quick. I thought that was a nice play by the Cubs to extend the lead and be a little bit aggressive there. All right. Let's see where we're at timing-wise. We are at 47 minutes. Not bad. Let's see what we have in the notes here. Yeah, let's really quickly look at Bryce Matthews from the Astros because he got a game-winning home run and he made a sweet play to end the game. I believe it was Diamondbacks Astros. Yeah, all right, so this is a rookie, just got called up the other day, Bryce Matthews. And I want to watch this home run off Woodford that essentially wins the game. It's 1-0 Diamondbacks at this point. And it's a first pitch sweeper, bottom of the zone, good movement, not a bad pitch, but a really good swing. And the mustache does not agree for Mr. Woodford, but 104.3, 396 on the distance. Just does a good job of just meeting this ball. I guess he was sitting on first pitch off speed, so you got to give him a little bit of credit there. But it's a nice swing. And this is how the Astros end up kind of winning this game. Nice swing. Pretty short to the ball with a high finish. Backspins it nicely. And Diamondbacks dugout hates it. And then I wanted to show this 9th inning because Brian King was in closing this game with Hader down for having pitched too much. And he actually gave up single to start this game. So bases loaded, no outs in the 9th, and I want to show this at bat first. So they're in a bases loaded, no out situation. Brian King needs to get a double play or a strikeout here. So first it's Blaze Alexander that he faces. Let's see how he goes at him. Fastball in, dotted, foul ball, good pitch. Trying to jam him. Fastball in again, late again. And then he upticks all the way to 94.7, so he goes 2 miles an hour harder and beats him with 3 straight heaters all on the inside. And Alexander kind of cuts himself off on those swings. Arms never get extended. That's just good reading of the at-bat by the catcher and the pitcher, but that lines us up for this double play at the end of the game. Jose Herrera, double play, and I want you to see the smooth play by our guy Bryce Matthews at second. Ground ball, pivot, slide on the knee. Double play, game over. The boys love it. Christian Walker respects the play. So this ball's hit pretty hard, 99.5. Kind of a tricky in-between hop to the left of the second baseman, Matthews, who's right here, obviously. But watch how he fields it, slides on the left knee. This is so athletic. Pivots the back foot in the ground to give himself a base, and it's like a nice little pop-up stand-up slide, and now he's in perfect throwing position to give a beautiful feed to his shortstop, and that wins the game right there. That ball gets through. Diamondbacks tie it up, and they're in position to win it. And you go from a bases loaded, no out situation without your closer on the mound to a game-ending double play. This win definitely felt really good for the Stros. This is a great moment for Matthews. Game-winning hit and game-saving play all in one. It's just awesome to see a young guy come in and impact like that. Just checking the emails here. All right, so 10:52 means I got to get off in a few minutes. I think we've looked at some good stuff. I mean, there was so much pitching last night to look at. It would have been fun to look at. Would have been really, really fun, I think, to look at DeGrom, who shoved again, even though he gave up a leadoff homer, nothing else after that. Logan Gilbert, one of my favorites, shoved against the Brewers. Matt Boyd pitched really well in that Cubs-Royals game. There's just a lot of good pitching performances from last night. Yamamoto started off like gangbusters in that Dodgers game. There's just so many guys to look at. Framber. But we're going to cover all these guys over time on this show. Sanchez was the pick today. But I think we should go ahead and look at the probables for tonight because there's some good ones, I believe, tonight as well. Really, in this league, there's something fun to watch every single night, which is really, really cool. So we got Reds and Nats. Got a couple matinees today. This game's coming in hot, 12:05 Eastern. Lodolo and Soroka. I love watching Lodolo pitch. I feel like he's a lefty version of kind of what I tried to do with a big crossfire. Then we got Cease and Alcantara. These are two guys that could both be traded. But I really, really like Sandy to be the guy that, I mean, he'd be the guy I'd be targeting. He's got such an upswing potential. I think you make a little tweaks with him, he could be Cy Young ready again. JV and Spencer Strider, actually, fascinating matchup. Two guys, dominant strikeout pitchers. They go about it a little bit differently from a size perspective. But man, I'm really rooting hard for JV to get off the schneid today and get that first Giants win, get himself going. Got ejected his last game, which is crazy, but big fan of Verlander, and I need him to get back on the winning foot today. Troy Melton, Bailey Falter, the Tigers and the Pirates. Brock Burke, so it's a little bit of a bullpen game for the Angels, and my guy, Sean Manaea, the tribal chief for the Mets, as the Mets look to take that series. Seth Lugo, the mad scientist, and Colin Ray. Lugo versus the Cubs offense should be very interesting, so he might find his way in there if he pitches well tomorrow. Let's see. Andre Palante and the Rockies. Rockies I think have actually played pretty well in this series. Palante's got the weird fastball. Let's see how it looks in the Coors conditions. Brandon Pfaadt, Brandon Walter, Astros D-backs. Quinn Priester, our guy. Can he keep it going against the Mariners? Castillo. Mariners throw a good pitcher out there every night. Chris Paddock and Glasnow. I've been looking at Glasnow a little bit lately. A lot to check out with him, so we'll see how he goes. Zach Eflin, Slade Ciccone. Ciccone is the one who got traded for Naylor in that deal between the Diamondbacks and the Guardians. Eflin, a big command guy, so we'll see how he looks tonight. Giolito, looking to get back on the winning side of things in Luzardo. It's an excellent matchup between two good pitchers there. And then we got Max Fried, Chris Bassett. This is another great matchup. This is a game I'll probably be locked in on. Yankees need this one. Blue Jays also need this one. These are two vets going at it. Kitchen sink approaches, really, really smart pitchers. Jonathan Cannon, Taj Bradley. Bradley's been on the upswing lately. JP Sears and Patrick Corbin, so battle of lefties at night. Let's get in the chat real quick before I say goodbye. As Joseph Garomo wants, thoughts on Sandy's struggles and what you think would help to fix him. Well, let's take a quick look at Sandy while we have a moment. We'll just finish up and quickly look at his page, because one thing that about Sandy is he's nasty, right? Like, he's gross. Obviously, he's having a tough go this year. But one thing about Sandy is just everything is hard. His slowest pitch is his curve at 85.2. So when you go up against him, you can kind of sit in that one speed band. You can kind of sit fast. 97.1 on the sinker, 97.4 on the four-seam, 90 on the changeup, 89 on the slider. So really everything's 90 plus. The curveball, which he doesn't throw that often, is the slow down pitch. And I think in a way it makes for a comfortable at bat whether you get a hit or not. There's a lot of balls put in play quickly, so he's very reliant on the BABIP gods, on the balls in play gods, whether the ground balls get through. And I think when you're throwing in a speed band where everybody is on time, location becomes that much more important. And I just think his location's been off a little bit, and I'd like to see him develop something a little bit slower so he can play the speed game a little bit differently. But for the most part, I think he just needed reps. Looks like location-wise, he's not bad this year. Pretty standard. Stuff-wise, about the same as before. He's actually getting... Okay, so he doesn't have the ball on the ground as often. There's something. Ground ball percentage has dropped a little bit, and he needs the ball on the ground. That's his style of contact. This year, his four-seam's getting crushed, so maybe the four-seam location, we're going to have to watch one of his starts to get a little bit of perspective on him. Yeah, curveball movement is pretty short. It's going to be tough to have a lot of great curveball movement with a lower slot and at 85 miles an hour, but still, some people achieve it, so it looks like he needs to go with more of a sinker approach. I'm surprised the changeup. Everything's been bad this year except for the sinker. It's crazy to look at. His calling card the year he won the Cy Young was really just pitching deep in the game and getting a lot of quick outs. But with that strategy, you do need to rely a little bit on your defense. This could be something, but it could be nothing. Arm angle's dropped to 31 degrees now. In his Cy Young award-winning year, he was 34 degrees. It's only 3 degrees. It's pretty small. He's also getting killed in the heart. So I just think people are a lot more ready to hit. You see his numbers here in the heart of the plate. He was a way above average pitcher every year until this year in the heart of the plate. Still doing really well in the shadow. Chase is about normal for him. The waist is about normal for him. So he's just getting hit a little bit more when he's over the plate. So maybe that means he's getting a little bit more predictable. First pitch strikes are still acceptable. Guys are not swinging as much. Maybe they're getting themselves in a little better counts. Chase has gone down big time. Down to 26.1%. So, it's easy to look at these numbers and just draw some rudimentary conclusions, but I think it would be more fair to watch a handful of his starts and then make some assumptions. But the delivery looks about the same. The velo is similar. Just not getting the same level of chase. I don't know if he's getting in the right counts. I do think the arm angle could be something. Tommy John might have affected the slot a little bit. I do think it's a little bit easier to stay healthy with elbow-wise with a slightly lower arm slot. That's my own personal opinion. So maybe all of this factors in. Maybe there's some bad luck in here. But, yeah, he's just not getting his strikeouts anymore, and a lot of these balls are getting through. Also, he's become really bad at holding runners. Holy cow. This is Ottavino territory. -10 net bases prevented on the running game. So if you're going to be a guy who's going to rely on contact and ground balls, that's really going to help you if you can keep that guy anchored on first base. You can get double plays, but he's not doing that very well. So there's a couple of things fundamentally that he needs to do a better job at. And if I do decide to lock in a little bit more on his games, I can give maybe a little better opinion of strategy-wise what I'd like to see him do with his pitch mix, because it's not that much different than a Cy Young year. And he's sitting with a 7.14 ERA. It's kind of crazy to see. So, but I still think this guy's too talented not to figure it out again at some point. He's one of the supremely talented guys in the big leagues. Tough as nails, hard worker. Never heard a bad thing about this kid. So I'm going to stick with him a little bit. He's got the luxury of being in Miami right now. But odds are he's going to get traded. So some team's going to get him, and they're going to want to put their stamp on him for sure. But that's a quick look at Sandy. And I don't know if that really answered our questions, but we took a little peek. And I guess that's going to be it today on Baseball and Coffee. It's been really fun. There was too much to cover, honestly, today. And that's the thing about this baseball thing is there's something awesome happening every night right now. And the second half is just going to get spicier and spicier as we go. I can't wait to check out the games today. Big game, Yankees-Blue Jays game tonight. Really intrigued by that one. Fried versus Bassett. Know these guys both really well. Curious to see how they attack each other. But that's it. Thanks for joining me today on Baseball and Coffee, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place. Adios.